maybe give you a little chance to watch some of the other Big 12 teams this week. Impressions as strong as you thought they were heading into conference play?
I didn't watch a lot of just the ones that were getting ready to play. So I haven't watched probably half of them yet, but watched the ones we're going to play.
Here. The ones Texas Tech and the guys coming up.
Texas Tech, yeah.
Your impressions there?
I think it's a vintage Chris's team. They run great offense. They make you score over top of them. They don't turn anybody loose to the basket. They're offensively patient. They've got guys who consistently make perimeter shots. They just don't have the shot blocker that they had a year ago. Other than that, Ramsey's really good. He's really, really good. There are people saying he may be the best freshman in the country. So that's pretty high praise.
Clark's a pretty unique challenger. A ball handler that big at the top of the key. What do you see from him?
Pretty much what you said. He passes the ball well. I think he gives them an opportunity to take a big away from the basket and then play their 2-on-2 games on the side. And you can run really good offense and not have somebody who delivers the ball, which we have gone through for a while. Where I think we're starting to get better at knowing where to throw the ball or when to throw the ball. But he does a great job.
Seems like Derek is a natural for that one. They probably take advantage of smaller guys to have to guard him. Derek is a natural guard for him, you think?
I think Derek will be good.
Yeah.
Derek's pretty versatile. I mean, we could play him in the 2-on-2 situation too, and he'd do a really good job. That's all I got.
Chris Beard has had to obviously hold a lot of new components in. That's something that you've done a couple times in your recent history there, bringing a lot of new players in. What is the most important job, the things you have to accomplish, to make that as much of a seamless transition as possible?
No, I think their path was a lot similar to ours. They got to practice in the summer because they were going to overseas, and they went over there and played games, which I think was a big help to us. And he's a good coach, and he's really a good coach. I think he's obviously one of the better coaches in our league and one of the better coaches in the country.
We hear this roster management a lot these days because the way the guys are transferring, whatever. He's turned that team around, and I guess done a pretty good job with that. What's your thoughts on roster management these days? It's a little different than it was.
It's something different for you guys to talk about.
Yeah.
It kind of gets boring talking about the same stuff, so
yeah.
You come up with other things to talk about. I think that's one of them. I mean, I personally, I'm not for it. There's nothing wrong with people transferring, but you should have to sit here. I mean, it's been that way forever, and I think it ought to continue to be that way. And this deal of guys just jumping from team to team it's not the NBA. College basketball.
But he's been able to take advantage of the situation to keep it going there.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I think Clark is a great example.
You sat a year when you transferred.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like for you? That had to be awful.
It's not fun. I mean, but it shouldn't be really. I got to practice with the team. I sat on the bench for a few games, and then I found it was more fun sitting in the student section.
I understand. Did you have like a John Caney face hold up?
So I crossed the floor.
Did you heckle your guys?
No, I heckled the opponent. I was right in amongst them.
Bob, how is Derek different now, off the court, on the court, than he was a year ago?
He's a lot more disciplined. He's a lot more disciplined off the floor. He's a lot more disciplined on the floor. He's learned a lesson that we all need to learn. That sometimes you need to just shut up and listen. And he's been great. Talking about a guy who a lot of people didn't think could make it. He's a 3.75 academically, and he's the most versatile big man maybe in America, certainly in our league. He's the most versatile big. I mean, he can guard guards, he can guard post guys, he passes the ball well. He's come a long way.
What we saw Monday, was that maybe the back end of offensively, was that the back end of a long road trip, or what do you think you saw there from both teams offensively?
We just had many shots. If that happens, then I think it becomes a psychological thing.
Yeah.
And you can't think about shooting while you're shooting. You just need to trust your technique and let it go. We've been shooting it flat, which I hate, because at least if you get it over the rim, we got a chance to rebound it. But we've been shooting it flat, and I thought yesterday we started to shoot it better. We didn't shoot it very well on Wednesday, but we shot it better yesterday. We didn't shoot it great. We didn't shoot it the way we were shooting, but I think we can.
Do you work on just improving the sets that you're running? Do you tweak some things to maybe do some things, or what do you do there?
We do it every day. I mean, and you tweak things. I mean, according to how they're going to play things.
Okay.
That's what you do. You look at film, you find out how they're going to guard certain things, and then you figure out how you can make it a little harder for them to guard.
Well, that's just a component of game planning then, right? Not things that you think you can do better regardless.
Yeah, that's more at this time of year, it's game planning.
Okay.
Like earlier in the year, it's more figuring out, who's more effective where.
Coach, obviously Emmett had the big game against them in the tournament last year. What do you got to do to, get him going again? What are you seeing with his game right now?
I think a lot of it's confidence. It's amazing when a ball goes in, what happens to your confidence. And he shot it really well early. I mean, he was one of the guys who carried us early, and then he just started missing shots. He's missing everything short, not getting it over the rim. For the most part, it's online. It's not going over the rim.
I don't have statistical evidence of this, but it looks like the scoring's down in the league. Is it a function of really good defense, you think, from what you've seen? Teams you've studied?
I think that and familiarity.
Okay.
We didn't have the turnover in the league that we had for a long time. I mean, there was years when you look around and you're having to introduce yourself to new guys in the coaches' meetings.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing is we haven't had the turnover that we've had coaching wise, and then the second thing, I think you're right, and that's familiarity. You know pretty much what you're going to get. Like with Tech, personnel's changed, but the core of what they do hasn't changed.
You mentioned Ramsey earlier. I mean, obviously he can make shots, get to the rim. I mean, what do you see with him that he's obviously been really good his first year?
He makes shots. I mean, I think that's the. He's what I think some of our guys can't become.
Yeah.
I mean, I think early on, everybody, when Sean McNeil got an open look, everybody figured it was going in, and Ramsey's it's still going in, and it's. I mean, he obviously got a lot of shots up when he was out. He had the hamstring, but I don't think that affected him from continuing to shoot the ball. And I think that probably helped him. Because if he's open, it's going in. You can't get it free low.
Pretty good in transition too, right?
Who's that, Ramsey?
Yeah.
They all are.
Yeah.
Well, would you talk a little about how you're handling your point guards?
Kind of throwing them out there, and the one that gives us the best results is the one that stays the longest. I thought Knapp had a really good game at Oklahoma State. I thought Jordan came in and played well at the end of the game. Not when he fell down, but before that. I thought he played well, managed the game well. And he's getting better. I mean, you know, we expect a lot from these guys when in reality they're not very experienced. They're far superior to who they play against in high school, or they wouldn't be here. And so they get away with things that they can't get away with here because guys are just as good or better than they are. And so I think Jordan and Knapp are both getting better. You know, we're fortunate we can play deuce at either spot.
It strikes me that it's unusual to play 3-point guards, extensive minutes.
Yeah, probably is. But you know, Deuce can play. Deuce is probably more of a 2 than he is a 1. You know, I think before what was happening, we were trying to get Taz going, and Sean was making shots. So there wasn't really a whole lot of room over there. We had 3 over there. And so when Knapp was struggling a little bit with ball security, we put Deuce in and play Deuce at the point.
You are leading the league in turnovers, but I don't know that that's necessarily point guard.
Well, you got to lead in something.
Number 1.
Yeah, but in our guards haven't been as good with the ball as what we need them to be. But our bigs turn it over excessively, and I mean they Derek's a really, he's a good passer, but he takes a lot of chances that we're going to have to slow down. It's been a total team effort, Bob. You can't just give all the credit to the guards.
It always is.
You can survive dead ball turnovers, right? The live balls are the ones that kill you, right?
Well, you don't want any of them, but yeah, dead ball turnovers are way better than live ball turnovers.
And your free throw shooting has just been average. Those are 2 areas, I guess, that you look at. You got to clean up if you want to make a run. This team
is being very kind.
Yeah.
We haven't shot it very well, but we've just gone into this kind of funk thing since we got back from Christmas. So we're not shooting the ball very well, and we don't shoot free throws well in practice.
Does that make you, I guess, encouraged that you can win by 13 on the road when you didn't really handle the ball that well and you don't shoot free throws that well, and those other areas have been exceedingly good?
But when you have 20 turnovers, it's hard to feel encouraged.
Win by 13. I know what you're saying, but
it's hard to feel encouraged. I mean, the first time we had 20 turnovers, we lost to a team we shouldn't have lost to. They were 1 for 20 from 3. Had a lot more to do with us winning than overcoming turnovers. And that's a team who that's their bread and butter is being able to stretch defenses and shoot it deep.
Coach Self went on after the game on Saturday saying how they didn't expect you guys to be that physical. You've had physical teams in the past. Do you see that this team's plays differently than some of your West Virginia teams, I guess?
I think we play the way we have to play. I mean, I could say the same thing about them. That's, when you got a 7-foot, 300-pound dude, there's not a lot of room in there. You're gonna occasionally run into somebody. And they're playing 7 foot and 6'10". We're playing 6'9" and probably 6'7".
Curious, I know you studied Texas Tech, but you also watched Baylor. They look pretty good. That's a pretty good basketball team.
They are, and they're, Scott's not playing as much zone. He's playing more man-to-man. They're running good stuff. They're hard to guard because they've got a multitude of guys who can make shots. That's what makes it hard. You can kind of concentrate on 2 or 3 guys, maybe 4. If you got one, you don't have to pay as much attention to. But with them, they've got to guard them all.